We're gonna do some milestone moments with the EvolveYou app. I've got all the links here and we're gonna go through memory lane together. Oh my God, I was anticipating something a little bit more glamorous. Oh my God. I remember this gym. This was the first gym I ever started recording in. This was where my Instagram career took off. I didn't know what I was doing. I was hoping for the best and I was a true beginner, and I think I'd been working out maybe 1 year prior to that. And so I had a little bit of an understanding, but not too much. So looking back at this young Krissy, I think I would have told her not to do as much volume and just to calm it down a bit, but she tried, and that's all you can hope for. This was my first ever workout professional shoot that I ever did. It was shot here in the UK. It was an outdoor gym. It was actually during the summertime, my first ever YouTube teaser. It was when I officially came on YouTube, and I said I will be releasing 2 to 3 videos a week. I didn't keep that promise up. I mean, YouTube for me is one of the most important platforms that I ever used. It was where I could educate my community so much more in depth and better than you can on maybe Instagram or TikTok or anything like that. So I remember I was posting really comprehensive workout videos. At the time, people were using them as a way for them to better understand how to perform exercises better, how to do things better. And I guess there was nothing out there at that time. So it enabled me to provide as much educational resource as possible to women that maybe they didn't have before. That's when I realized there was a hunger and a thirst, I guess, for something else. Wow. Okay, so this is my graduation picture. Actually, I remember someone said that this was fake and it made me die. They didn't believe that I had graduated from university. Well, I have the certificate if you want to see it. But I graduated from South Bank University with a law degree. I firmly believe had I not been going to the gym and made the gym a habit, I don't think I would have passed my exams. So at the time I was getting my degree, but I was also starting my first business. And that was the PDFs that I was selling at the time to my community. And at the time there was not many PDFs available for women to strength train or go to the gym. However, PDFs were quite flat. You couldn't do much with them. So we knew that the next stage was to build an app that we could continuously make better. We could continuously add new things, and you can come, log in and have all of your data, everything that you require there. So it was definitely a challenge building both things, getting my degree and also building a fitness app with 0 to no experience. We didn't know what we were doing. All we knew is that our community really wanted something, and all we knew is that they really wanted to learn how to strength train properly. And we didn't realize it would get as big as it has today. And here she is, the launch of the ToneSculpt app. This was massive. This actually gives me all the feels because a lot was happening behind the scenes with this. We went from owning it partially to owning it fully and putting every single thing we had into this app. All of our finances, all of our time, our energy, just to create a fitness platform for strength training for women, by women. That was what was really important. It was very, very true to my belief that every woman in the world should be strength training. And this campaign video was really important because it was also women that I had created a bond with, whether I'd met them in the gym, whether they were part of the community. It was women that I had a connection with. And that launched in January 1st, 2019. I actually have that tattooed that day on me because it was such a significant moment of my life and my career. And I remember going live with the app and we had 10,000 subscribers in one hit, and then it all crashed. And I was like, oh my God, it's all crashed. But then the platform couldn't sustain that many users, but now we have like so many users, and it's like, looking back, how significant this moment was. Wow. Okay, so this was our first ever, at the time, ToneSculpt community event. Oh my God, I have so much to say about this event. Okay, so whilst everything looked amazing on the surface, behind the scenes, it was probably one of the most traumatizing moments of my career. It was quite dramatic. I can talk about it now because I've recovered from it. So we booked the location, and before the event, the night before, there had been a rave. So, you know, the people at the location was like, yeah, it will be cleared out, you'll be okay. Like, by the time, you know, your community come, everything will be cleaned. And I was like, okay, sounds great. Are you sure? Because it's like an overnight rave and it finishes at 6 a.m. And when I got to the location, there was big cans everywhere. There was like things that I don't even want to say out loud. And I remember it was like 7 a.m. We got our rubber gloves on and we were like cleaning up the streets around the venue, because I didn't want our community to come and they were just like presented with something that I didn't think that they should see. So that was quite traumatizing. I was really emotional that day. I was really upset because it didn't go as I anticipated. But since that moment, we've hosted so many events, big ones, small ones, more intimate ones that are fit for the program, that we've launched, trainer-based, Dubai Active, for example. There's been so many more events since then, but looking back at this picture, it gives me so many feels, because that's when I met the women behind the app and the women that made the app what it is today. I'm gonna send this to Danielle right now. So this was the moment that I realized that in order, from a business perspective, in order to get this app into more hands, in order for it to become more accessible and to have more variety, I had to introduce more trainers. I knew that I had to bring some of the best onto the app, and it only felt right to bring Miss Danielle Wilson as the first ever EvolveYou app trainer, at the time called ToneSculpt. This was really such an important part, because me and Danielle had such a strong friendship and still do. She's one of my best friends for life. I see her as a sister more than anything. So for us to come together and to further make this app even bigger, even more special together, was very, very pivotal. And it was also the catalyst of introducing more trainers, more variety on the app. And the whole point behind that was to allow women on the EvolveYou app to have choice and freedom and also flexibility. Not everyone wants to strength train, not everyone wants to do Pilates or yoga, but if you wanted to try something, you had it at the tip of your finger and you had it by qualified experts to guide you through it, which was very important. Oh, this was a moment. This is really important because I think we often talk about the community and we often talk about who founded it, but the people that make this brand what it is the team. And let's not get emotional. It's the team behind the EvolveYou app, the team that work so hard, the team that tell me no, tell me yes sometimes, the team that put everything they have into giving the community the best possible fitness app they could ever find in the market. And they really, really care. So to have an office where we can come together, brainstorm, think of ideas, think about concepts, think about ways of how to make things better, make things new, fresh, constantly improve. That was such a big milestone. And it was definitely a moment in my personal career that felt very surreal. I never thought in a million years that we would ever have an office, let alone such incredible staff that we've had since day one. Aha, this was a big moment. This was one of those surreal moments. We had never done any guerrilla marketing. We'd never really got the app out into the public. It was very much confined on social media. It was very much our community, but this is where we were like, right, how do we scale? How do we go into that next step? And this was our first ever big billboard that we ever have done. And the concept was we are, like, this is who we are. And I think oftentimes, especially being someone who is a business owner, you feel guilt promoting your own app because you feel like, is it too much? And anyone who's listening who has ambitions to have their own app or their own career, their own business, go for it. Talk about it till your face turns blue and you have no more oxygen left in you. Talk about it. If you believe in it, you should want every single person on this thing, wearing this thing, using this thing, eating this thing, whatever you believe in. So this was the moment where I was like, I want every single woman in the world to download this app and understand that it's going to change their life for the better. Oh, okay. This was this was probably the most biggest thing we've ever done with the app, purely on the basis that ToneSculpt has served us really well, but it no longer suited where we were going and how we were evolving. And actually, ironically, I had trademarked EvolveYou, Strong Hair, and ToneSculpt all in the same year. And I was like, I don't know which one we're gonna go for. And we actually went for ToneSculpt originally because it had a high SEO search. So that's why we did that. But then over time, I was like, you know, this doesn't really fit in with what the belief system at EvolveYou is. Like, telling women to purely tone and sculpt doesn't fit right. So everything was fine, but the name. So we changed it to EvolveYou, which fits our ethos so much better and who we are. And that was a very scary moment because I didn't know if people were gonna love it. I didn't know if people were gonna understand it, support it, but the support was so powerful, so big. It just paved the way to further instill who we are and what we believe in. Okay, so this was the biggest event we have ever hosted for the EvolveYou app. And this was, again, one of those moments that I'll probably look back at when I'm 70 years old and hopefully, you know, with 20,000 golden retrievers around me. And where I'm looking back and I'm like, cannot believe we did that as a team. Cannot believe we achieved that. I think there was about 600 women that came to this event. And it was done to perfection. There's a lot of things we have not done right, but this was one of the things we've done right. And this was one of the things that, you know, props where props are due. And we smashed it, seeing all those women working out with the trainers, meet and greet, having different areas of the event, from form sections to training on your period to, you know, delicious food to meditation, all these things that were happening at the event. It just brought EvolveYou to life. Like, if you could bring EvolveYou to life, how would it look and feel? And that was what that event encompassed. And I think we need another event. Do you think we need another event? I think we need another event that big, bigger. I always go here and then I'm like, how big can we get it? And how big and how big? But next time, maybe 1,200 women. So I woke up to me and Jack, our CEO and co-founder of EvolveYou, being on Forbes 30 under 30. And that was quite a big surprise. And I was like, what is going on? But we did it. And that was a very surreal moment. We never really did much press. We always kept it quite low key, even though it wasn't low key. And so this was a very, very important moment, I think, for my personal career and Jack's personal career, because it was a bit of recognition, I guess, for everything that we've built over the past 6 years of our career. And it was a moment where it felt appreciated, I guess. So yeah. That was an interesting one. I was very excited by that, very emotional and unexpected. So this was one of those moments where I was absolutely terrified that it was coming, but it was very necessary. I think with EvolveYou and any app in the world, whenever you have updates, it's very scary because people are very used to a certain way. And then when you change things that you know will be for the better in the long run, it's quite terrifying. And the reason we kept delaying it was because we were very scared of people not liking it. But I think now that there's been some time and adjustment, I'd like to think that people prefer it. I might be wrong. But we just wanted it to be more sleeker, more user-friendly, where you could really just capture all of your data in a more understanding way. But this was definitely one of those moments where I couldn't sleep for a really long time and I was very nervous and the team was very on edge. But once it launched, I think it's one of those things where we just hope for the best and to give our community a better option, I guess. So yeah, but it was necessary. Change is sometimes very necessary. And I guess we're here today, and today is somewhat a little mini revamp, but not necessarily a revamp. And what I mean by that is just to enforce who we are and what we stand for and why we exist. I think it's very important to constantly tell people why you exist. Like, why does the world need EvolveYou? And the reality is there's a reason we've been downloaded 2 million times. There's a reason why we have, you know, hundreds and thousands of workouts completed every single month. And that is to keep women accountable, is to keep women dedicated, but it was also to inspire them to move their bodies for themselves and to also prioritize their health and well-being. And that's why EvolveYou exists. And that's why we wanted to do a really strong campaign to encompass that, to redefine and also to instill who we are, what we stand for, why we're here, and why we are the best female fitness app by women for women to ever exist.